Hi everyone, welcome back. This is Connie. Today I'm going to be sharing with you a Halloween project I'm working on. This was inspired by Carol Hurlock. I am going to try to remember to put a link to her channel, the video that inspired this, in the description box. She is just an awesome crafter, so I hope everybody will go over and check out her channel. I've made my little pocket type envelope. I'm not sure exactly what I want to call it. Anyway, I've made it just a little bit smaller and just redid a thing or two. So I'm going to share with you how I'm doing mine. Excuse me. I'm going to be using mine to put some die cuts or paper pieces in that I've put together. I'll share those later, and I will be gifting this or doing a giveaway of some sort. So I just have a couple of orders to finish up, and then I will be on to things that I would love to do. So I'm going to get started. I will share with you dimensions, what I'm doing. I did mine out of a 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, and then my pattern cardstock is scraps that I've had in my stash. So I'm going with orange, yellow, white, and black theme here. But eventually it will open up and there will be a pocket here and all of that. So I'm just going to jump right in, share with you what I did and the dimensions here. So my first piece is cut. This is left at 8.5 inches long, and it is 5.5 inches wide. So if you take your 11.5 inch piece of paper with 11 inch at the top, you can just cut it down the middle, and you should have most of the pieces you need, other than maybe some matting. I don't remember about the pocket, so that might be the only thing. And then on the, if you put the 8.5 inch side, the long edge at the top in your scoreboard, I scored this at, if you're seeing the wrong side of the ruler, 1/2 inch. And then I just miter the corners up here, just the slightest bit. So I'm going to put the inside back piece on first. This is going to be a little bit shorter than the length. It's the length of the paper I had. The pocket's going to cover it up, so I'm going to go with that. And I did mat it in some orange. Everything this time was inked with some black ink around the edges, not real heavy, just to give it more of a hazy, grungy look like Halloween. So I'm going to put this down first. That's going to be my main piece to put down first. And I apologize, this piece for mine, this back orange piece, will be 5 3/8 inches wide. And then you could do the full length if you want to the bottom, which would be 7 1/8 inch. No, it's early. If you do the length from the score line to the bottom, it would be 7 7/8 inch long for the matting. And then this top piece for mine is 5 1/4 inch wide, and then whatever the paper was. Yours would be 5 1/4 by 7 3/4 if you're doing the full length, if you're following a 1/8 inch border, which is what I'm doing. So get my glue started here, put this down. I stopped my scrapbooking layouts to do this because I saw this, and like I said, Carol was using hers for some larger sticker packets that she's giving away, or was gifting someone. And I thought, oh, that would be really fun to do for Halloween for some die cuts. So that's where my thinking came. I just didn't need it that large, so I decided to redo it, but she always has wonderful ideas and she decorates everything so, just so nice. She has beautiful paper. I don't have a lot of dies, so I'm just using what I have, making do with what I have, which is normally what I do. And I haven't been to my sister's to get all of the Halloween paper, so I'll just leave it at that. Now I'm trying to think, I think what I'm going to do next is work on building my pocket, and then I will put, or building my top flap, and then I'll put my pocket on. This is going to have a magnet. She had one of the, she used the plastic magnets that you put on with that little handheld, I don't know what that little, I call it a gun, but it's not, but it's a snap press. I know my niece got them when she was sewing her children's clothes and making diaper covers and whatnot. They're really nice. I don't have one. I don't have the strength to be able to use one, so I don't even want to think about it. To be honest, it just wouldn't work for me. But if you have one, I'm going to use, you know, my, I don't know why there's, I'm going to use my regular magnets here, but she used to snap. It was awesome. Okay, this is my top piece, and this is going to go on top of this little flap here. This piece is, there we go again, sorry, 5.5 inches wide. This is just like 65-pound weight cardstock. It's not heavy cardstock. By the time you get all these layers on, you'll be amazed how sturdy it is. So if you want to use heavier cardstock, by all means do. Okay, so for the length on mine, I decided to make mine is 6 inches. So again, 5.5 wide, 6 inches long. This is the inside back, so it's going to go like this, okay? And I'll put it on in a moment, but I'll give you the dimensions. It is 5 3/8 inch wide, well, this must be 6 1/8 inch long. If I can't, apologize, this is 6 1/8 inch long. I can't get my measurement straight today. This is 6 inches long, so 5 3/8 by 6. This top piece will be 5 1/4 by 5 7/8. You can make this longer if you want. This way, it's just gonna, you know, you don't want it to cover too far over the flap that's going on there. But before I do add all my pieces, I want to put just my piece on top. And I need to put on my magnets before I go too far, so I get my pieces out of the way there. And I'm just butting this up basically right to my score line, but not over it. I want it to lay nicely. And to make sure this adheres well, I'm going to burnish it down. On both sides. Just getting that glue off. I have, excuse my reach, an adhesive eraser that I found. Okay, so it'll just go down like that. Now, I'm going to, I don't have my washi tape out, so I'm going to attempt to do my magnets, not break any. These are very strong and very fragile. I've watched countless videos on how to put these on, you know, so they work really good. And, well, anyway, I keep forgetting the best way to do it. So I just want to give that a little bit of time to adhere. And I want to make sure it's up far enough so when I put my paper down like this, it's going to be able to cover the magnet. So I'm going to go ahead and put this paper down. I'm afraid we might get a glare here from the sun. I apologize. It was very cloudy and dreary when I got up, and the sun is now trying to come out, of course. So, but I'm trying to take advantage of some daylight instead of always filming in the evening, so I get a little bit of natural light. Since this does not have a pattern, it does not matter specifically how it should go on, which is nice. Just want to make sure I get that adhered down really well around the magnet. Okay, so this is the inside top flap, and then we have this piece. Now, what I want to do before I go any further, find the lid to the glue first of all. It seems to be oozing out. This is going to be my little pocket page. I will give you the dimensions here, and this is where I did it a little different. I need to put an arrow on this crazy thing, even though the writing is right side up and down. Okay, this pocket is cut 6 5/8 inch wide, and it is 2 3/4 inch tall. What I did was I scored at 1/2 inch on this side, and then I put it, it'd be easier over this, glue out of the way. I laid it down, okay, and then on my scoreboard, I figured out where this was, the edge of this, and laid it on there. I don't have my scoreboard handy, I'm sorry. And then I scored a line. And what it does is it gives it a little bit of extra room in here, so that 1/8 of an inch, this side when it's scored is about, it's between 3/8 and 1/2 of an inch. It's kind of in between there, whatever the 16ths would be. Don't ask me to count. But anyway, I wrap mine around the back because I will be putting a back piece on, so that was a little bit different. But to put this pocket on, I'm first just going to put some glue only at the bottom down here. There's a method to my madness. You can use tape also. You don't have to use wet glue at all. For all of this, you can use tape. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, stand this up and make sure it's even at the bottom. Burnish it. It's okay that the X is at the bottom. I just have to remember that we are putting a magnet on there, and we'll do that in a moment. But now I'm going to come on the back and put my flaps down. And I couldn't put the back piece on, whoops, until I could put my flap on. losing my back piece, the pattern piece, I don't know, in the mess of paper I had. And I kept wanting to put it on, so it was on there, and I kept thinking, no, I can't do that. So, and no, I couldn't. So if you're not going to do these back flaps, then your pocket just has to be 5.5 inches wide and however tall you want it. And then you would just put glue on 3 sides and put it down. But this gives it more room doing it this way. So that's the reason I did that. Okay, now what I'm going to do is come in and take another magnet. Okay, put a little bit of glue on the magnet, and I think I should have put some tape on the other side. I'll find out in a moment. I'm just going to close this a moment. Hold it down. While I'm waiting for that to adhere, I'm going to put the front piece on the top and do that. This piece again is matted on orange, and it is 5 3/8 wide by 6. And then this piece will be 5 1/4 wide by 5 7/8 inch. Again, both the orange and this top piece are all grunged up with some black ink. I should have used black soot distress ink, but that's in a whole nother spot, so I just took the black ink I had. And that was just some Stampin' Up! Ink, which my ink pad's getting kind of dry, so it worked fine. And this is going only on the top. And I have to turn it so I can get it where I need it to be. Again, I'll burnish it down. I want to see if I can get this apart and not lose a magnet. No. Well, I kind of know where it goes, so I'm going to put some tape on this side a minute. And, okay, so I have it, the tape, the sticky part is facing up on my magnet here. I'm going to just pop it back down. And what it should do is, with any luck, hold that magnet. Nope, it won't hold it down. Tell you what, we're just gonna, we know where the glue is. We're gonna go like this. I'll remove the glue in a moment. Okay, I wanted to make sure that they still are attracting each other. I don't know, the male and female parts, I forget how it goes, but I didn't need that glue or that tape after all. I'm going to put this next cover on though here. This ruler and I don't get along. It is 2 5/8 inch tall. It is 5 3/8 inch wide. This piece will be 2.5 tall by 5 1/4 wide. So I'm going to get that on there. Don't know why I'm having problems with measurements in my ruler this morning, but boy, I sure am. I'm so sorry. I don't have a problem when I cut. I just know, you know, where it is 1/8 smaller, and, well, I shouldn't say that. Every once in a while I don't pay attention and I have to recut. So I think I'm at like 2 3/8 and I'm at 2 5/8, but I know my 1/8 and 16ths and stuff, so. I like to burnish my pieces down. It just spreads the glue out for one thing and just helps everything stick better. Now this magnet is very close, it's more to the orange part, so I'm just kind of making sure it's on there. But here it is, and then I'm going to put the back on quick before I possibly could lose that sheet. I didn't mat this because it is so orange and there's already the black on it, but it is 7 7/8 by 5 3/8 inch wide. So I'm going to go ahead and put that on. I've had this paper in my stash for quite some time, so I'm trying to figure out if this was, this must be like a Bella Boulevard. I don't know exactly. Oh, I'm not sure. I think that's what it, if they're even still around, to be honest, I have no idea. I don't know where I get stuff. I am trying to use up paper in my stash. I am not buying too much more of anything till things change a little bit for me, or I figure out what's going on. So we'll just I have closed though my Etsy shop, or excuse me, my eBay storefront. I'm not going to be selling on eBay, and I'm going to be closing my Etsy shop very shortly. They have changed a lot of their terms again, and I just it's not working out. So I'm going to be just doing more gifting, and if you see something you want, you know, reach out to me and I'll certainly see what I can do for you. But otherwise, I'm not going to be doing a lot of selling right now, and that may change, but I don't know, we'll see. All right, I got all this stuff. Whoa, come back here. Let me get some of this out of the way a little bit, and I'll start decorating this for you. So first of all, I have this 4-inch doily. Cut it in half. And it is going to go, I want to use my ruler to kind of give me an idea. Upside down for you guys. Oh, goodness, I need to use my other ruler apparently. It's coming out to the sides, and I'm going to measure it at about at 1/2 inch from the patterned paper. So get some glue on here in a few spots. Okay, I want to bring my ruler back in here a little bit. That's good. Also this, if you can see, I lightly sponged the edges of this also. I don't know if that's showing up anywhere, but just to give you an idea. And I'm just putting some glue on a couple of spots that will hold it down. Doilies are harder to glue. Okay. So I'm going to bring this over a little bit. Finding my half-inch mark is proving more difficult than I thought. Kind of eyeball it. It's going to get covered, so if it's not perfect, it's not the end of the world. Okay, then I'm taking my spider web corners. These were cut from Caught in a Web, I think the name of it is. It's from Little Scraps of Heaven Designs. There's just corner ones, and then there's a round spider web, and then there's some like a big purple spider, and I forget there's another one. But I want to say these were like 2.5 inch. Yeah, I believe these are, well, I don't know how Design Space is going to do it. Either way, they're about 2.5 inches though, this way and to the edges. So I'm going to get a little bit of glue on these, and I'm not putting glue on every spot. I'm just going to kind of try to put it strategically here on spots. Get a Xyron. This might be a nice place to use it. I don't have one anymore. I got rid of mine. It was getting difficult to find replacement rolls of adhesive in that, so I just finally got rid of it. Okay. Probably should take my glasses off so I can see what I'm doing. Just putting these up in the corners. I'm sure you can, you know how to glue, but for me to edit videos, I'm sorry, it's not my forte, so I'm just not gonna do it. It takes longer to edit them sometimes than to do the actual video. Okay. And try to get them so they kind of line up there at the top here. And I did want them going over the doily. That's why I put that down first. Now, I'm going to open it up. I don't know how I'm going to do this. I might have to turn it around yet. I'm going to put 2 down here. And again, these are just cut with the 65 pound weight paper. If you cut them with heavier paper, I would recommend either multiple cuts or make sure you have your paper set up for, a thicker paper, because there's a lot of intricate cutting here that you don't really see. It's got to get all those little holes cut out, and this cut really well though. If you wanted a spider web, and if you wanted what would be a round one with this, you can put the 4 pieces together on the edges. I've done that with this pattern. I didn't care for the round piece, the pattern of the spider web as much, so I just did it that way and made a full spider web. I actually did that in Design Space. I just welded it together. I didn't glue it after the 4 pieces were cut. That might have drove me nuts. I like doing intricate work and stuff, but some stuff I just make Design Space do. Make life easier. Okay. Better go from this direction. Again, trying to get these bottoms to line up fairly much. So when you close it, it's going to look like that so far. And for once, my magnets are working properly. I'm happy for that. Okay, the next thing I have is I used a Spellbinders die for this back piece. This little piece is cut off because I just ran short of paper. I wanted a little bit heavier at the bottom. That top piece is going to be glued down. You will not see it, so it's not a big deal. But because if you pull this up here instead of maybe at the side, I just want a little more sturdiness. Then I cut this polka dotted piece, the second layer, by hand. I just cut the inside of this larger one. I traced it and cut it out. And then this is a smaller one. There is no foam tape between any of these. But I'm going to lay this one down so I can get these other pieces on top. It's easier to do that way. And I'm going to have this figured out in my head earlier. Get the glue. Yeah. I'm going to use these 2 points down here as the bottom along the edge here. So easier for me to figure out where to glue and a good mark to kind of line it up with. So if that makes good sense. And I'll just put a little bit of glue on the flap here in a moment also. Now, the reason I didn't pop this up is because the next few layers are quite dimensional. It's not to say that you couldn't do yours by all means to pop it up. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying that's my reasoning for mine. Okay, oops, I was gonna put some glue here. I used some art glitter glue since I forgot to put the pin in it. It's a wonder I don't come up the washing machine sometimes. I am terrible about wiping my hands. I always wear old clothes when I craft, and I'm terrible about wiping my hands on my shirts. Now I'm trying to line this up between the two. Some glue here. I'm just going to come in with the ruler and kind of eyeball the dimensions. I'm happy with that. Like I have glue on here and I don't. Oh, I bet you know, when I put things or make things, before I ever do it on camera, I've got it all laid out, take it apart, lay it back down. I mean, it goes together multiple times. I may take a photo of it, look at it for a while and figure out, okay, what do I want to change? You don't know. It's crazy. Okay, my next layers. This is just a rosette I made. The width of it is 3.5 inches approximately. Pretty close. And then there's this little black die behind it. That's just went out of my stash. And then this is a circle stitch die. And the black one and this top one, they're both unbranded dies. So I have no information on those. And then I just put some eyelash trim around the back of this orange rosette. I did it in 2 layers to give it a little bit more thickness. and then I popped this up. So, and I also, no, this top, I didn't pop that one up, but with the rosette and the foam tape on the back of the rosette, there's quite a bit of dimension here. So I'm going to glue this down next. Maybe get my glue started. I bet you guys are thinking, geez, you know, I use a lot of foam tape, and I do. I don't know. Don't want it to get bent down or anything. Now this piece being patterned, I'm just going to kind of eyeball it on here. I have to pick it up though, because I want to see where I want it. Kind of want it centered between these two and top and bottom. This does not have to be like straight up and down. I like it going angled for some reason. Must be me. I'm just never quite straight up and down. Even when I walk, I'm off a little bit. Okay, that's what it's looking like so far. And just a thought, if you were making a card, this would be a cute card front also. You wouldn't have to do all the layers, obviously, but anyway. This is the next piece I'm putting on. And I was not going to do the rosette and this top piece. I was just going to have it on top of this back piece. It was boring. I did not like it. I got to add something. And then I didn't have the eyelash trim on the rosette. That was awful boring too. I'm like, I got to add something here. So went through my stash. That's why I said, it sits for a while. I take a picture. I look at it, and finally I'll figure out what I'm doing. He's popped up on foam tape. He is the Candy Corn Ghost, I think it's called, from Little Scraps of Heaven Designs. He is cut at approximately 5 inches total. And he is, like I said, he's on foam tape, so he's just going to go, the whole thing does not have foam tape, just because he doesn't get, you know, he's not going to be, the whole thing is not going to be sitting flush against something, so I don't need it to be all full of foam tape. But and he might be coming at just, the candy corn is not going to be straight. I'll be real honest with you. Again, part of it is what the rest of the details that are going on. So again, it's cute, but it's by no means done. So I'm going to keep going here. I've got a little fingers, come on, sticker, or no, this is actually cut from a piece of paper. I will see once. Thought I had it here, yeah. I have a bigger piece. I just cut it out of here, cut the word boo out of there, put it on white paper, then put it on foam tape, put it on, yeah, black paper and then foam tape. If you had a, oh, sorry, I didn't mean to bump the camera that bad. I didn't realize. Oh, goodness. So sorry. You could use a sticker here. I didn't have any stickers in any of my Halloween stuff left that really were appropriate or quite big enough. I wanted something a little bit bigger down here. And I want to make sure it's straighter than the last time I tried to do this. So now I'm going to come on, I'm going to do my corner flowers. I've got, figure this out. Yeah, I've got 3 orange. This corner's going to be left plain. So I've got 3 orange flowers. I did not make these. These were either given to me The orange flowers, I believe, were given to me by Lisa B. Thank you, Lisa. And the black flowers, I'm pretty sure I purchased from Really Reasonable Ribbon. I had to stop and think where I got them. So I'm just putting 3 flowers here in the corner, and I don't want to move this once it's done too much to let the glue really set good on my flowers. So then I have these little black roses, and I'll put 2 on either side. These are just a tiny bit smaller. You could make flowers, you could find other embellishments you wanted. You could use a different paper piece in the middle if you wanted. This is just what I had done this. I have a coffin that had one of these a little smaller. I don't know where it went because it was not glued down. And I'm still looking for it, which I hope it didn't manage to get thrown in the garbage. If it did, I'll have to make another one. This paper piece is from Little Scraps of Heaven Designs. It goes together incredibly fast. I also made a smaller one yet for a little Halloween treat bag that I'd made. I'll show you the treat bag. Is this one if you didn't see it. A lot of people couldn't find it on Little Scraps of Heaven Designs because apparently this one doesn't look like that one. I don't know. I thought it looked pretty much the same, but I don't know. I don't change my paper pieces that much, my detailing and stuff, so I don't know what to tell you. I need to find a scissors. Now, what I like about having this rosette is I don't cut my flowers all the way down, and there's always a little bit of a layer, you know, for the stem and whatnot. And so this will give me the opportunity to put that little stem underneath the rosette, and it will still lay here nice. I'm going to hold that flower a moment. Once this beacon Fabri-Tac holds, it holds. It's not going anywhere. It's awesome stuff. This used to be this, but I cut it way too short on the green and I had to retape it. So I just took some packaging tape and put it down, but I'm going to try to get this in here, and hopefully my other flower will cover it up some. I'm sure it will. We'll just make sure it does. If not, the flowers are from, these flowers are from Really Reasonable Ribbon, and the little orange, whatever you want to call them, those little, these little things, I think I got off of AliExpress. I'm not positive. And I try to use an ample amount of glue. You can use hot glue also if you prefer, if you're doing this. I know a lot of people do. And I've got one more flower here. I used white flowers here, partly because that's the color I had, and also I've got enough orange on here and black. I wanted to give it a little bit more color. So that's my flower arrangement there. Again, excuse my reach. I've got this. I was going to do a black and white check for a ribbon, and it just kind of faded right into the background. It just did not stick out. And I thought, oh, this is perfect. It kind of goes with the candy corn theme. So that's where this coloring, that's why I used this color ribbon. Also from Really Reasonable Ribbon. I love her ribbon and products. She just has wonderful products and wonderful customer service. So very, very happy. And I wasn't going to put a bow on, and it just, I was going to put it first over here. Well, then it was too heavy on one side. And then I thought, you know, it needs a little bit of something on this side yet. So there you go. And you see the doilies kind of fade into the background, but it's all good. Okay, now I got to figure out how to put these lovely little rings, so to speak. I actually made these. They're the little perler beads that you, what do you want to say, melt down in the oven. Never again. How about that? We'll just leave it at that. Never gonna do that again. So I'm gonna put one here. And you can use, you know, whatever you want for designs here. Excuse my reach again. Everything is on the wrong side of the camera today, or the wrong side of the table. Okay. And then put a black one up there. Well, I hope you guys have enjoyed this little project. I enjoy scrapbooking, but every once in a while I like to do something a little different. So the glue will dry clear, so not to worry on that. If you're thinking, oh no. Here. All right, it's done. I want to thank everyone for joining me. You guys have an awesome day. Take care, everybody.